Hi, I have another little tutorial. I'm hoping I can keep this short and sweet. This is the third week of our challenge in the Facebook group, Stitching Fabric, Papers, and More. And we're challenging you to try these things and keep it in a book so that when you go to work on something, you can just open it up and boom, there's all these ideas. This is one of the things that's not really done on a page. It's done as an accessory. So if you make these and attach them to a page, we'd love to see it. You could make several different styles, attach them to the page in your idea book, and then you've got all these different ideas. So to start this is what we're making. And I have a new setup for my camera, so let's hope I don't bump it, and let's hope it works. So these are all done with punches. I made some with just scrap paper, and I started off just doing some clusters with only punched pieces. I did quite a few, and I thought, oh, I bet I can do these in strips. So that's what I did. I started off with just circles, like I said, and then I started adding other things. And I thought, well, I want to make some of these into kits and give them away. And so I was punching for hours, and my poor hands hurt so bad. And I just kind of looked over my shoulder and I went, wow, I have a scan and cut. So I just set it up. I did pages upon pages upon pages of punched shapes. But I just did them all in scan and cut. The worst part about that is I have all of these pieces that I just can't bear to pull apart or throw away. So if you got a great idea to use for these, I'd love to hear it. So first of all, punch a bunch of stuff. That's all you need to do. And I usually use my magazines. I pull out every image that I like and I store them. And then I usually use these as glue books. So when I'm gluing something, I can just glue, flip it, glue, flip it. Well, one day I wasn't feeling in the mood for anything, and it was sitting there on my table and a ruler. So I just started doing this. And I'm not really being very picky. And you can do 2 or 3 sheets at one time. And these are the strips that I do it on. I'm sure you've got strips of scraps, and that's fine, but this is another way to use something you've already got. So we have the strips. And if you can see, I've stapled them. Most of them I've stapled. I sewed this one. Yep, my machine doesn't do good sometimes on paper. But you can do staple. You can do glue. You can do sewing. I started this one just a few minutes ago. And this one is just gluing. And I gave myself a nice little pile of... Oh, there they are, hiding under my little mat. And I have punched everything I can think of, and all different sizes, and I have a couple of cute little punches, like the little hand that I thought, oh, those are kind of cute on the top. So I just start off with gluing something down. I'm using my favorite glue stick, and I'll just put some glue on it and put it down there. I'm also working on a silicone mat so that if I overglue, I don't have to worry about it sticking to something else. So you can just keep going and gluing and picking out papers and having them stick out and arrange it however you want. Or you can do it while you're sewing. I kind of like gluing or stapling the best because you get to see it as it goes. When it's running through your machine, you think you're picking good things, and then when it's through, you're like, well, I'm not so sure I like that. I'm not so sure that this one goes. Not that you have to be picky, because we're just making them for fun. See, this one has the 2 rows of stitching because I felt like it needed some smaller ones in the centers as I went along, which is easy to do with the glue. Something else, that if you have some that don't punch right, don't panic, because part of your stuff is always going to be hidden. Ta-da! And if you get to punching and your hands get tired and you don't want to keep going and you have half pieces, again, don't worry about it. Here's we go. I knew I had one. So this one's just half of one. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it. And I'm just going to tuck it right in there because this one's going to go over it. So that's one way. Well, I knew it. I knew I would hit my tripod. Okay, so this is one way. And now I'm going to do some stapling. So I'm just going to start, and I usually do 2 or 3 different pieces before I staple, so I don't have a zillion staples in there. And I usually use my little staples because I have 2 staplers, a gold one and a pink one. No, you don't need 2 staplers. I lost this one. So I ordered me another one because I use it frequently. And I had to pull a cushion off the couch, and guess what? I found the pink one. So I have different colored staples in each one. That way I can get an assortment on one page if I want it. And I'm going to pick up this little one here and staple that right there. And you don't have to be perfect. And if by any chance I want another color staple, I pull out my handy dandy antique stapler. It uses a spool of wire. I don't know if you can really see that or not. The lighting in here is really bad today. But it makes the coolest staples. They're just like these little ones, but they're brass wire and they're tiny. So I actually can use 3 different colors of staples on one project. We won't go back to the big one because it's kind of awkward. And I'm not going with any rhyme or reason. I'm just putting them down there. And when I'm done, if there's something I'm not sure if I like, I can always put another piece over the top of it. I am so sorry about the bumping of the tripod. I just wanted to get a better angle than I have been. I've been so busy that keeping track of videos and even making videos has been really hard for me to do. And now I've slowed down a little bit to get back into it. And so I'm kind of learning this all over again. So I always tend to hold it up and see if there's any weak spots because I want it to be fairly strong. And I like it a little more stable. So I just stapled that one. So now you could take this and stick it on the edge of a book page. But if you decided that's not quite up, we need to have that right there. No, it doesn't show up too well. We'll put it on top of the flower. Don't have very many butterflies because they're very hard to punch out. So if you decide you really like this and you want to use it for something else, or you want to make a different size, and you got these staples on here, or if you've sewn it and your machine isn't really good, like mine here, you just take another strip, and maybe you want to use a scrapbook paper or something instead of a magazine, and put some glue on it. Cover the whole thing with glue and put it right over that, and you've covered your staples. And now you could have this really cool bookmark. You could do the same thing with the stitched ones. Just put your glue on it, cover right over your stitching. Glue it down real good. And there's a bookmark. So that's basically all there is to it. Again, this is our idea book challenge. So if you would like to make these and post some pictures in our album, make sure you put your name on it because we want to have our little prizes at the end of the month. So that's my idea book today. Thanks for watching.